Hey Astro Kids, and welcome back. Today we are talking about the new moon that will fall in Pisces within the Revati Nakshatra on April 11th of 2021. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. So this is a new moon in Pisces. And of course, the new moon is a fresh new start. This is the start of a lunar phase. So this becomes a great time to start a new project, to work towards a new goal within your life, to leave behind an old cycle as we are coming into this new moon. This is going to be happening in the Revati Nakshatra. So this Nakshatra is symbolized by a fish. This is representing the daydreaming, the imagining. This is taking us to another world, another dimension of thought. And so this becomes a great nakshatra for your creativity, for your inspiration, for your imagination, taking what is in the deepest recesses of your mind and pulling it out into the physical. In this nakshatra, especially because this is controlled by Mercury. So actually logically using your thoughts, your imagination, your inspiration, and putting it into something tangible. This is especially so because this will be happening in the third pada of the Revati Nakshatra, which is a Capricorn Navamsa. So this is a Saturn-ruled pada. This is all about using your knowledge, using your wealth of knowledge to put this towards your skills. So for those of you who have had a vision, who have had a dream, who have had a goal for some time now, using that, actually performing that in a practical way. And so this becomes a great time for your organizational skills, for making a concrete plan, for organizing your life at this time, to make sure that you are working towards your goals, working towards what you want to see manifest into reality. Remember that after the sign of Pisces comes Aries. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It brings us into this physical reality. Remember that Aries is connected originally to that first house, the first house being the first point in which your soul made contact with this physical reality that we exist in. And so at this time, using your skills here at the end of Pisces, using the inspiration, the knowledge, the deeper recesses of your mind, and pulling that out into reality, especially as we're having so many planets that are shifting into the sign of Aries coming up very shortly here as we inch closer to Aries season. Now, along with this new moon will be in conjunction with Mercury. Mercury is also getting ready to shift into the sign of Aries. If you have not checked out that video on Mercury and Aries, I will leave a link down below in the description and above so you can go ahead and check that out. But we are moving forward. We are shifting into things at this moment. Mercury, as it is along with this new moon, especially gives us some great insight and inspiration. Remember that Mercury is debilitated in the sign of Pisces, but it is also receiving support from Saturn, right? We talked a little bit about that when we went through the video on the transit for Mercury in Pisces, how even though it's debilitated in Pisces and it came into a combustion, that we also have Saturn making its aspect over to Mercury, which is helping and assisting in this. And in this new moon, Saturn is also going to remain in this aspect. So this new moon that is in conjunction with Mercury will be receiving its third aspect from Saturn. Remember that the number 3 is connected to Gemini. It is connected to your skill sets, to using your knowledge, using the things that you have to make something happen. This curiosity, this skill set, this desire to learn, this desire to create is here from this third aspect from Saturn, which is a very practical planet, and especially as it is at home in its own sign of Capricorn. So this is a great time coming into this new moon to use your skills, to use your intellect to create something new. And we will talk more about how this will affect you individually within your own chart as we move forward into this reading. But Ketu is also making its fifth aspect over to this new moon. Remember how we talked about how Ketu is making a fifth aspect over to Mercury. So as Mercury comes into a conjunction with this new moon in Revati, we're also going to see that fifth aspect continue. Ketu here trying to give us some deeper insight, some deeper knowledge at this time. And so this becomes a great time in terms of especially those of you who are looking to practice or learn about mystical knowledge or implement this into your life somehow. This connection to spiritual knowledge, to mystical knowledge, to occult knowledge is here as well. But even so, even tapping into knowledge at a deeper level, studying, researching at a deeper level, understanding what is happening at the deepest level. Remember that Ketu is the planet that shows us that everything that we see with our physical eyes is not everything that there is. There is more that is hidden behind it. And so this is a great time to discover something new, to learn something new, to practice something new in your life with this energy. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the cards say for this new moon in Pisces. So the cards that came up for the new moon, and I've pulled this collectively for all signs. So this is not specific to a particular zodiac sign. This is going to be a collective pull. And so the first card that comes up here is the Page of Swords. So this is a time of, again, venturing out, starting something new, some sort of new intellectual discovery or project that you want to achieve in your life. This is a great time for learning. This is a great time for tapping into something completely brand new as we're shifting into this new moon. From there, we also have the Eight of Cups in reverse. And so once again, this is a time of looking deeper. This Eight of Cups takes us on a quest, but as this is reversed, this is going inward. This is a time to reflect deeper on your information, on your knowledge, on your skills, on the things that you are learning and progressing through. And so this becomes a huge time for intellectual studies, looking deeper, finding the underlying truth behind everything that you are picking up on at this time. From there, we have the Knight of Swords. And so this is a huge time to work through any sort of challenges and obstacles. Once again, this is time to leave the past in the past. This is a new moon, starting fresh. And so for a lot of you, this is a time to use your intellectual skills, to use your analytical skills, your practical skills, to work through the challenges, to work through the opposition. Remember that this moon is in Pisces, so it will be opposing the sun. This will be opposing the sign of Virgo. So Virgo is very analytical, it's very technical, it is connected to healing and working through problems. And so there's no coincidence that this new moon is on the opposite axis of Virgo. So this is a time of using your knowledge, using what you know, what you understand to work through any sort of conflicts or obstacles or problems that need to be solved at this time. And this includes using your skills, using your knowledge to work through your duties and responsibilities, the things that need to get done in life. And so this energy is a warrior energy. This is of cutting through the nonsense as we're coming forward into this new moon, using what you have, what you've learned, what you've gained through this Piscean energy, what you've dreamed of, what you aspire to have, and working towards this. Following that, we have the King of Pentacles. And so once again, this is time to build your palace, to build what you want to achieve. This is your time for greatness, to create the foundation that you want for yourself. And so this is a huge time of using those analytical skills, using what you have to work towards your goals, to work towards what you want to achieve. This is a time, once again, of tapping into that deeper knowledge. Last card here is the Ace of Swords. So you are opening up the doorway to a new chapter in your life. For those who are willing to do the work, for those who are willing to put in the effort, to use your knowledge, to use your skills to move forward out of the conflict, out of the difficulties, out of the past. Again, with this Ketu energy, this is going to take you to a better place in your life. This is starting a brand new, fresh journey for you to start. This is something that you have to be willing to take on, though. This is something that you have to have the courage to stand up and walk in this new direction. So let's go ahead and move forward into your individual horoscopes. And starting off here, for those of you with a cardinal sign, for those with Aries Moon or Aries Ascendant, we have a new moon that is happening back in your 12th house. This is a huge time of letting go. Even though this is a new moon, this is happening in your 12th house of endings, of completions. And so this is a huge time of starting a new chapter by letting go of the things that no longer serve you. This new moon is going to be aspecting over to your 6th house of conflict. And so this is time to finally clear out the things that no longer serve you, to let go of the conflict, let go of the past, let go of those things that no longer serve you so that you can work your way up to something new. And especially with Mercury back in this 12th house, this is opening up new possibilities to you. New information that was once hidden to you is being revealed. And for a lot of you, this is a lot of subconscious issues that are being brought to the forefront that need to be worked through. And so you are receiving a lot of clarity at this moment around what it is that needs to be worked through on a deeper level, on a mental level. So for those of you who are suffering through some mental challenges, this is a huge time to unblock yourself. Saturn is giving a third aspect supporting this Mercury debilitation and new moon from your 10th house. And so once again, this is time to work your way up to the top by letting go of the things that no longer serve you, letting go of what's holding you back. And so this is a huge time of leveling up to your new position, to your new journey in life. And so this does not necessarily mean a promotion or moving up in career, but this does mean moving up professionally within your life, where you're leaving behind an old chapter. You're leaving behind what no longer serves you, especially as Ketu is making its 5th aspect over from your 8th house. This is a huge time of ending, of conclusion with Ketu there. Remember that that 8th house is also connected to losses. It is the house of death. And so there's a lot that is being cleared out internally to help you move forward in a big way. This is starting a brand new chapter, especially as our next new moon will be happening in Aries. For those of you with a Cancer moon or Cancer ascendant, we have a new moon that will be happening in your 9th house. This is a very auspicious new moon for you. This is happening in the 9th house, where Pisces, Jupiter, is a beneficial influence for those of you with the Cancer Moon or Cancer Ascendant. This is an opportunity to start fresh on a new project, on a new skill set. Those of you who are planning to move up in your career, to move up in your studies, especially for those of you who are looking for a new mentor, a new teacher, a new source of inspiration, this is a huge time for you. A lot of new opportunities and doorways are opening up with this new moon in your ninth house. Mercury there also giving you some great insight and knowledge on a higher level. So many of you are receiving some great wisdom and insight, whether this is coming from your intuition or from a teacher of some kind. You are receiving this higher guidance that is helping you in a big way. Saturn with the support from your seventh house. So once again, you're receiving this knowledge through others. For many of you, more so than yourself. So there's a lot of wisdom and teachings that can come through from others, especially as Saturn is a very mature planet here in your seventh house. You can receive a lot of concrete wisdom and knowledge in your life. Ketu making the fifth aspect from your fifth house makes this all about education. Once again, you're receiving a lot of wisdom and insight. And with Ketu here in the fifth house, this gives a lot of great creativity and a lot of great inspiration to pour into your career, to pour into your goals of what you want to achieve, as Ketu is also aspecting over to your 11th house. This is a big time for you in terms of working towards your goals, especially as Saturn is aspecting back over to your first house, where many of you have your mindset set on your work and responsibilities. For those of you with a Libra moon or Libra ascendant, the new moon will be happening in your sixth house. This is a big time for work, for responsibilities. You can find yourself having to take on more responsibilities or new responsibilities that you once didn't have before. This can be a big time of a new chapter of dealing with new issues or conflicts within your life. You are receiving the support of Saturn, though, from your fourth house, where many of you can find that peace of mind, even with any sort of new responsibilities or challenges that can arise at this time. You have a lot of support where you can find the comfort and peace in dealing with this. And with Mercury in there as well, Mercury is one of the more beneficial planets for you as it is controlling your ninth house. A lot of great support and guidance coming through to you internally for those of you with a Libra moon or Libra ascendant. A lot of great intuition can come through for you as Saturn is placed in your fourth house. We also have Ketu giving its fifth aspect over from your second house. So you can receive a lot of support from your family upbringing. You may be finding yourself in a place of memory and nostalgia where you're pulling through some previous wisdom and advice that you received in your early upbringing. This can also potentially show that you are in a place of needing to sacrifice a lot towards your goals and responsibilities. Ketu giving the aspect over to Rahu in your eighth house. A lot of needing to face the conflicts and difficulties at this time. Ketu giving that fifth aspect over to the new moon and Mercury there in the sixth house. There's a lot of conflict and difficulty to work through at this time. For those of you with a Capricorn moon or Capricorn ascendant, we have a new moon happening in your third house. This is a big time for any sort of creative projects. Again, using your communication skills. This has been a huge focus with this Mercury transit. Even though Mercury has been debilitated, it's receiving a beneficial aspect from Saturn. It's receiving some support from your ruling planet. And this has been a big time to improve upon your communication, improve upon your expression. This has been a big time of expressing yourself more. And this can be applied towards any new projects that you have in mind at this time. The new moon is aspecting over to your ninth house, where you can do very well in anything regarding communication, publishing, and so on. So, this is a huge time of expressing yourself more, putting yourself out there more, especially as K2 is giving a fifth aspect over from your 11th house. Letting go of any sort of fears or hesitation centered around dealing with other people or moving towards your hopes and dreams. This K2 energy is potentially showing you the past fears and past karmas that need to be addressed in order for you to move forward in this area. And this is a big time to tap into your courage, to tap into those desires to step up and go towards what it is that you want to achieve. And so, huge time to express yourself, huge time to put yourself out there for achieving those goals that you want in your life. For those of you with a Taurus Moon or Taurus Ascendant, this is a new moon happening in your 11th house. This is a big time for new possibilities and new achievements and discoveries to pop up in your life. And so you may have felt stuck at some point along this journey of Mercury transiting through your 11th house. But this work that you've been doing, this feeling of where you have been, is taking you towards a new possibility, a new opening. And so there is something big here that is coming. And depending on how your chart is set up, depends on what this will look like for you. But this new moon giving you the opportunity to achieve something new in your life, something better that is great for you. So this is a step up for a lot of you where you are achieving a goal, where you are receiving a gain in life. Mercury also there in that 11th house, giving you the insight, giving you the knowledge that you need. And yes, Mercury is debilitated, but receiving this third aspect from Saturn in your ninth house, you have the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding to achieve what you want at this time. And a lot of you receiving some great wisdom and guidance through others as K2 is transiting through your seventh house. And so you can find yourself getting some deep insight through other people, specifically anyone who can give you some advice or mentorship at this time. K2 aspecting back over to Rahu in your first house. Huge time where you can achieve the desires that you want as K2 is making that fifth aspect over to the new moon. This can be a very beneficial time for those of you with a Taurus moon or Taurus ascendant. Those who have a Leo moon or Leo ascendant, this is a new moon taking place back in your eighth house. And so this is opening up a new time of change and transformation. And for those of you with a Leo moon or Leo ascendant, you've been going through these changes, these fluctuations constantly. This is taking you through another change yet again, as Mercury is also here giving you these short ups and downs. Mercury is also receiving the stability and support of Saturn in your sixth house. And so you are guarded and protected from any challenges or obstacles as Saturn is covering your 6th, 8th, and 12th house through this transit. But there is a lot here in terms of receiving a new change that will take you to a new chapter in your life. And K2 giving the fifth aspect from your fourth house, this is taking you towards happiness and peace in your life. This is a time where you are leveling up in your career, in your profession, in this area where you want to receive accomplishment and growth. But there is an internal change that needs to take place here. And so it's very important for those of you with a Leo moon or Leo ascendant that you are rolling with the changes and not being so stuck up or pent back from moving towards these changes that need to take place. For those of you with a Scorpio moon or Scorpio ascendant, this is a new moon taking place in your fifth house, very auspicious. This can be a new time to receive some new benefits and opportunities. You can see some new success and gains coming through as this new moon is aspecting over to your 11th house. Mercury has also been here for a while now. Mercury, not so great of a planet, but receiving the support from your fourth house ruler, Saturn, where this is trying to give you some support. A little bit difficult as Saturn also controls your third house. But nonetheless, Saturn is here trying to support you along this journey where there is a lot of growth and improvement that needs to take place here as Saturn is occupying an Upachaya house. There's a lot of growth and improvement that can take place from you facing any sort of fear or hesitation that's stopping you from going after the things that you want, as Saturn is your third house ruler. Ketu is also giving the fifth aspect from your first house. And so this is a huge time for you to transform yourself, to liberate yourself from the past regrets, from the past difficulties. You're being given a new opportunity, a fresh start. For many of you here with a Scorpio Moon or Scorpio Ascendant, where you can progress forward into your greatest potential. And this is strongly affecting you from your relationships with Rahu in the seventh, where you can attract a lot of people who can help you along this journey, and you can attract a lot of the people who you've wanted in the past to be a part of your journey. For those of you with an Aquarius Moon or Aquarius Ascendant, this is a new moon taking place in your second house. And so this is quite an interesting new moon. You can receive some wealth and security through this new moon. You want to be careful though, because the moon is a little bit of a difficult planet for you. You can receive some difficulties in terms of finances at this time. And for a lot of you, this is taking you to a brand new chapter by freeing you from past restraints. And so this can be a little bit of a difficult time with Saturn that is supporting this, but it's supporting it back from your 12th house of losses and expenditure, where you're being forced almost to end out an old chapter, to make peace with something that didn't work in the past. And especially as Ketu is transiting through your 10th house, you're leaving a status or post that you previously were a part of to enter into a new chapter, a new phase in your life. And this new phase can bring you tremendous security and wealth, but this can be very difficult as there is a clearing or releasing that is happening for a lot of you. For those of you with a Gemini Moon or Gemini Ascendant, this is a new moon happening in your 10th house. Awesome for career. This is a big time where a lot of you can receive some financial gain and benefits through your career. You can level up in a big way, especially as the moon is controlling your second house. We also have Mercury, your ruler, that is here in the 10th house as well. Great placement for Mercury. This is a time where you can really use your creativity, use your skills to move forward in your career. This is also receiving its third aspect from Saturn. Saturn is trying to support this, but it is back in the 8th house. Saturn, from this position, is helping you in terms of career and finances. Saturn is a beneficial planet for those of you, as it's a friend of Mercury. And so this is helping you tremendously in terms of your career and your finances. However, there is a lot of obstacles that can come out of this. Saturn trying to delay these obstacles and issues. This can come up in the future for those of you where you can see some major obstacles and delays that can take place. Ketu is giving a fifth aspect from your 6th house. Again, your work, your career, your finances are a huge area where there's a lot that's happening. You want to be careful with your health, though. Ketu here in the 6th house sort of taking you out of your physical reality. So you want to pay attention to things related to your health and your daily routine, making sure that your work isn't taking you too far away from the things that you need to take care of in your life. Nonetheless, K2 is giving this fifth aspect where you're receiving a lot of deep insight to help you in terms of your work and career. So, a lot of creativity, a lot of logical knowledge and insight that you can put to use in your career at this time. For those of you with a Virgo Moon or Virgo Ascendant, this is a new moon taking place in your seventh house. This is a brand new chapter in terms of your career, in terms of working towards the things that you want to achieve. This is in your seventh house. This can affect romantic relationships, but for the most part, the focus here is on business and dealing with others. You can find yourself drawing in new people into your life. Mercury, your ruler, is also here with this new moon. This is very auspicious where a lot of you are working heavily in your communication skills. Mercury is aspecting back over to your first house where a lot of you are trying to work on negotiation, work on moving through issues and obstacles in communicating and expressing yourself, especially as Jupiter is here in your sixth house, as it has left this area of Saturn in your fifth house, where a lot of you have had this hesitation or difficulty around self expression. Saturn giving the third aspect over to this new moon and Mercury transiting through your seventh house. This is affecting your relationships, affecting your connection with others in a huge way where you can find some more grounded and practical ways of dealing with these communication and expression barriers. K2 also there in your third house of communication as well, giving the fifth aspect. Again, big time surrounded around expression and communication. Being able to communicate the things that you are finding some difficulties or issues around expressing. With Rahu there in the ninth house, a lot that many of you have to share or that you're wanting to share with others. And so moving through these barriers and obstacles that are potentially holding you back, giving you this great ability to express yourselves in a huge way at this time. For those of you with a Sagittarius Moon or Sagittarius Ascendant, this is a new moon happening in your fourth house. This is a great time for peace and happiness in your life and starting to think in a new way, that is more efficient with this conjunction from Mercury and this third aspect over from Saturn. This is a big time where many of you are starting to think more rationally. You're starting to think more in terms of things panning out in more of a positive way, wanting to leave the past behind with this fifth aspect from Ketu back in your 12th house. And so there's a lot that you are letting go of, that you're freeing yourself from at this time. There's also something big, though, about this aspect from Saturn, where you want to be able to face any sort of obstacles or difficulties as Saturn is aspecting over to your 8th house of crisis. And so this is a huge time where are you letting fear avoid you from actually getting to your happiness by trying to block or avoid some of these subconscious difficulties with K2 back in that 12th house as it's aspecting over to your 6th house of conflict. For those of you with a Pisces moon or Pisces ascendant, we have a new moon in your first house. Time to start a brand new chapter. For those of you with a Pisces moon or Pisces ascendant, you've been receiving a lot of logic, a lot of great detail and insight with Mercury in your first house. Very auspicious. Even though this is debilitation, this is here in your first house, where a lot of you have been receiving a lot of great wisdom and insight, especially with Mercury controlling your fourth house. of your state of mind, there has been a lot of great knowledge and insight that you've been able to tap into. And this is helping you tremendously towards your next new journey in life. Receiving this aspect from Saturn in your 11th house, you have a lot of practical, long term desires that you're trying to work towards at this point. And remembering to stay focused and to remain disciplined in what it is that you want to achieve will get you towards these results very quickly. We are having Ketu make a fifth aspect from your ninth house. You are being tremendously blessed with great wisdom and insight at this time. Remember that Ketu is the planet that rules Scorpio. It is all about unveiling what is hidden. And here, as Ketu is transiting through your ninth house of higher wisdom and insight, this is giving you a great deal of higher knowledge and wisdom. Rahu there in your third house, you have an interest in learning and gaining more at this point. This is a huge time for learning, for discovering, and for applying the knowledge that you have gained into your life and what it is that you want to achieve in life. So that was your horoscope for the new moon in Pisces happening in the Revati Nakshatra Pada 3 on April 11th of 2021. If you enjoyed this, feel free to leave a like as well as a comment. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button along with the notification bell. If you would like to learn more about Vedic astrology, there are links down below in the description along with the comments. There is a course available in the Facebook group Astrology Lessons with Daquan Jones and on Patreon for those of you who are interested. Again, all of that is down below in the description along with the comments. If you would like me to talk about anything regarding Vedic astrology, leave it down below in the comments and I will bring it up in a future video. I hope you all have a great day. I want to thank you so much for joining and I will see you in the next video.